Today is going to cover your types of multi-step equations. There are three types that you're going to learn today in today's video. So the first thing you need to do is draw a line straight down from the equal sign. Now remember, we want all of our x's on the left and all of our constants on the right. So what we need to do is move all of my x's to the left side and all of my constants, my numbers that are not attached to x, on the right side. So let's move our variables and x's first. So this 2x right here, I need to subtract it to the other side. So because I need to cancel it on this side, so I'm going to do the opposite, which would be minus 2x. And remember to put it underneath the other x here. So both of these cancel on the left side, or sorry, the right side. I'm going to bring down my 7, because that's all I'm left with. Oh no, look. 2x minus 2x equals nothing. So now I just need to bring down my 3, because I haven't done anything to it. So it looks like we get 3 equals 7. So in math, we know that 3 and 7 are not the same number. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a slash through the equal sign like this, saying that it's not equal to each other. So let's try the second one here and see what we get. All right, for the second one, we have to distribute, meaning I'm going to take this 3, multiply by this x, and since whatever's in the parentheses, I need to take that 3 and multiply by it. Doesn't matter how many numbers, this matters that you multiply the 3 to both the x and the 4. So 3 times x is going to give me 3x. 3 times a 4 is going to give me a positive 12, because they are both positive numbers. I didn't do anything to the right side of my equation, so all I'm going to do is bring it straight down as is. The reason why is so that way we can keep everything in one straight line, and we don't forget any numbers or variables or anything when we are solving. So now I can solve. I'm going to draw my line. I need to move all of my variables onto the opposite side. So in this case, I'm going to, the opposite of adding 3x is subtracting 3x. So I'm going to subtract 3x to both sides. These cancel. All I'm left with is 11 on this side equals 3x minus 3x is going to cancel and leave me with nothing except for this 12. So bring your 12 down. We have the same thing here. We have 12 cannot equal 11. So these types of solutions, when you have two different numbers, are called no solution, because there's no solution for x. X could be 3, x could be 7, x could be 12, x could be 11. This means that no matter what you put into x, the equation will never be true, meaning you will never find a solution to x. These equations will never equal each other. So anytime that you have an equation where there is one number equals an opposite or different number, that means that there is no solution. There's no solution to x. So let's move on to the next one. All right, here's our second set of numbers. Let's solve for x. I'm going to draw my line. And remember, we want x's on the left side and constants on the other. So what I need to do is get rid of this 5x right here. I need to subtract it because this is a positive. The opposite of a positive is a negative. So I need to subtract both sides by 5x in order for this to become a 0. So on the right side, I am left with 3. And I have 5x minus 5x, which is going to cancel. And I'm going to be bringing down this 3. 3 equals 3. How convenient. So we're just going to leave it like that. We're just going to leave it as 3 equals 3, because that is a true statement. The number 3 is the same as number 3. Let's move on to the next one. So remember our distributive property. Whatever number is on the outside, you need to distribute it and multiply whatever's on the inside. So I'm going to take negative 2 and multiply it by an x, and negative 2 and multiply it by a positive 3. So for my first one here, I'm going to get negative 2x, because a negative 2x, or sorry, a negative 2 times an x is going to give me a negative 2x. So now this one says negative 2 times a positive 3. Since they are opposite signs, I know that my answer is going to be negative, and 3 times 2 is 6. I didn't do anything to the right side, so I'm going to bring it straight down. Now I can solve. What I need to do is move this negative 2x to the opposite side here. The opposite of a negative 2x is a positive 2x. So I'm going to add 2x to both sides. Negative 2x plus a 2x is going to cancel. And I'm left with negative 6. Make sure you take this sign that's in front of this 6 and bring it down with it. Equals negative 2x plus a 2x is going to cancel. I'm left with bringing this negative 6 down. And look at that. We have negative 6 equals negative 6, which is a true statement. Now, this type of solution has a name. These equations are called infinitely many solutions, because the x could be any value, so that means that any value that you put in for x will make the equation true. Meaning, I could put in 12, I could put in negative 32 into any of these x's, and I will still get the same answer, whatever at the end, that'll be equal to each other. Did you also notice something right here? Negative 2x minus 6 equals negative 2x minus 6. If you notice that, you can instantly know that those are infinite many solutions. They're the same equation. So these equations will be equal to each other. So an example would be 4 equals 4, or up here, negative 6 equals negative 6, 3 equals 3, and so on and so forth. So if you see that both of these equations on the left side is the same exact on the right side, you can know instantly it's infinite many solutions. All right, so we learned about no solution, infinite many solutions, and now we're going to look at the last type of solution. So let's draw our line straight down from the equal sign. I need to move my x's to the left side. So I'm going to get rid of this 11x, and I'm going to subtract it. So this 3x minus 11x is going to give me a negative 8x. And I didn't do anything to this positive 7, so I'm going to bring it straight down. 11x minus 11x is going to cancel, and I'm left with 15 on the other side. Now we need to get x by itself, a two-step equation, right? So I need to subtract this 7 to both sides to get this negative 8x alone. 7 minus 7, 0. And I'm left with negative 8x. And remember, feel free to pause this video at any point. 15 minus 7 is what? Yep, 8. So now I have 8 over here. And the very last step, remember, when these two are next to each other, it means that it's multiplication. The opposite of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by -8. Remember to carry the negative in front of the 8. These cancel. I'm left with x equals 8 divided by 8 is 1. And I know that a positive divided by a negative, since they're opposite signs, is going to give me a -1. Let's look at our second example. Distribute. Distribute the 3 to the x. And make sure you distribute it to the -1. 3 times x is just going to be 3x. 3 times a -1, since they're opposite signs, it's going to be negative. 3 times 1 is 3. I didn't do anything to the right side, so bring it straight down so everything is in the same area. Now you can solve. Bring all your x's to the left side. So that means I'm going to get rid of this 2x by subtracting it. I need it to cancel out on the right side so that way it can be 0. So these 2x minus 2x is going to cancel. I'm left with 9. And 3x minus 2x is just x, or 1x. And I didn't do anything to that -3, so bring it completely down. Last step that we stated is we need to get x by itself. So we need to get rid of this -3. The opposite of a -3 or a -3 is a +3. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So these 3's cancel. I'm left with x equals, what's 9 plus 3? 12. Good job. So these types of equations are called one solution. And here's why. This means that there can only be one number x can be equal to make the equation true. Meaning there's no other number that x could be at all. X has to be -1. X has to be 12 to make this true. So these equations only have one answer. Only one. X equals blank. H equals blank. Okay, let's move to the practice problems. All right, so I'm going to do one practice problem with you, and you are going to complete the other practice problems and figure out what type of solution these are. So right here, I'm going to start with number 1. I'm going to draw my line. So since I drew my line, what I need to do is combine all of the terms on the left side. So if I have multiple x's on the left side, I need to combine them all together, or multiple constants. So I need to make each side of my equation as small as I can, as simplified as I can. So I'm going to have a 3x here and a -1x here. That means I can combine them together. So 3x minus 1x is going to give me a 2x. There, I simplified that side. Now let's look at my 4. Is there any other constants on this side? Nope. So I'm just going to bring it straight down. Now I solved the left side. Let's do the right. Remember, pause the video at any point in time. I need to distribute the 4 to the 2x and this +4 to the -1. If it helps, so that way you can remember that it's -1, circle it. Okay? So I'm going to get this one started for you, and then you're going to solve the rest on your own. So 4 times 2 is 8x equals 4 times -1, since they're opposite signs, it's going to be a -4. Okay, so I want you to solve the rest of this problem. And remember, to solve the other ones as well, to see how you are doing with the one solution, no solution, and infinite many solutions.